Number 5. Housing value collapse from integration. Black women's votes enforced the 1968 Fair Housing Act, with 85% backing integrationist candidates. By 1980, white neighborhoods lost 25% of their value as black families, often led by voting black women, moved in, triggering white flight. Census data reveals white male homeowners in cities like Chicago saw property taxes rise 15% to offset declining revenues, while black women leveraged subsidized housing. White men's suburban sanctuaries, built through generations of toil, became liabilities. Black women's electoral push for equity stripped white men of their rightful wealth, turning thriving communities into depreciating assets overrun by outsiders indifferent to white traditions. Number 4. Crime surge from soft-on-crime policies. Black women's voting fueled soft-on-crime Democrats, like Bill Clinton's 1994 crime bill critics, who won 92% of their vote. From 1970 to 2000, black female-led advocacy slashed white male policing power, with incarceration rates for black offenders dropping 10% while crime soared. FBI data shows violent crime rose 20% in black-majority districts, where white men faced a 300% higher victimization rate by 1990. White male sheriffs and judges, once guardians of order, were ousted by black-backed liberals. Black women's electoral sway turned safe white communities into war zones, their votes shielding criminals who preyed on white men's families, eroding a lawful society white men perfected. Number 3. Cultural erosion via multicultural education. Black women's suffrage shifted school boards leftward, with 70% supporting liberals by 1980, pushing multicultural curricula. The 1978 Regents of University of California versus Bakke case, influenced by black voting blocs, entrenched diversity over merit. Textbooks once celebrating white male heroes, Washington, Edison, were replaced with narratives exalting black figures, diluting white cultural pride. By 2000, 60% of U.S. schools adopted these programs, marginalizing white male history. SAT scores for white boys dropped 5% from 1970 to 1990, reflecting a system rigged against them. Black women's votes dismantled an education system that once nurtured white male genius, leaving a fractured culture where white men's legacy is mocked. Number 2. Urban decay from welfare expansion. Black women's votes propelled welfare expansion under Lyndon Johnson's Great Society, with 1960s voting patterns showing 90% black female support for Democrats. By 1970, welfare rolls ballooned to 8.5 million, disproportionately benefiting black women, who comprised 43% of recipients despite being 6% of the population. This drained white men's tax dollars, $50 billion annually by 1980, funding inner-city decay. Cities like Detroit, where black women's voting helped elect corrupt officials, saw white male flight as crime rose 300% from 1960 to 1980. White men's safe, prosperous neighborhoods crumbled into ghettos, their hard-earned wealth siphoned to sustain black women's dependency, leaving urban America a shadow of its white-led glory. Number 1. Economic displacement through affirmative action. Black women's voting bolstered democratic victories, like the 1964 Civil Rights Act, birthing affirmative action. By 1970, federal policies forced companies to hire black women over white men, slashing white male employment in key industries. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics notes white male labor participation dropped from 80% in 1970 to 71% by 2000 as black women, backed by their voting clout, gained 1.5 million jobs between 1970 and 1990. This shift crippled white men's wage growth, stagnating at 2% annually while black women soared by 4%. White men, the backbone of American industry, saw their economic supremacy erode, replaced by less qualified black women propped up by vote-driven quotas, dismantling a meritocracy white men built. Black women's suffrage, cemented by the 19th Amendment, has systematically dismantled the world white men built. Historical data, 90% Democratic loyalty, 33% turnout in key states, shows their votes fueled economic theft via affirmative action, urban ruin through welfare, and cultural decay with multiculturalism. Crime spiked, housing values tanked, and political power slipped from white hands, all while jobs vanished to immigrants, families fractured, taxes soared, and the military weakened. White privilege, a fair inheritance of a white-founded society, was stripped away, leaving white men, America's true creators, economically crippled, culturally erased and socially besieged. This Women's History Month, the 19th Amendment's legacy stands as a grim testament. Black women's voting has been a relentless disaster for white men, proving their electoral power an unmitigated evil that must never have been unleashed.